Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're here today. We're actually throwing the usual playbook right out the window for this one. We're skipping the pleasantries and jumping straight in because we have an absolute mammoth of a topic to uncover. We are diving headfirst beneath the surface of literally the world's most isolated, least understood, and arguably most fascinating landmass on Earth. Yep, we are talking about Antarctica. And it all comes down to one massive question, doesn't it? What is Antarctica really hiding? I mean, that is the exact question keeping geologists and, let's be real, half the internet up at night. Beneath its ice, which is 1 to 3 meters thick, and just to put that into perspective, in some spots, that's like stacking 16 Eiffel Towers directly on top of each other. Beneath all of that, Earth's least explored continent is a literal time capsule. It's this giant frozen vault holding secrets that honestly challenge everything we think we know about our planet's history. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the world's most mysterious continent. To really wrap our heads around these mysteries, we first got to grasp the sheer scale of the board we are playing on here. Antarctica holds a staggering 90% of the entire world's ice. 90%! It is the fifth largest continent in the world. It's bigger than the entirety of Europe. It's bigger than the United States. And yet this massive, colossal frozen sandbox was officially completely unknown to science until the year 1820. Think about that for a second. For centuries, it was literally just a blank space on ancient maps, an untouched frozen world sitting at the absolute edge of civilization. And taking a look at this perfectly illustrates exactly why it stayed a blank space for so long. Look at this massive web of lines. Because of that impenetrable frozen blanket of ice, it's not like scientists can just walk around with shovels, you know? They have to rely on planes outfitted with ice-penetrating radar just to see what the ground looks like. Every single one of those delicate little lines you're seeing represents an airborne flight track, slowly, painstakingly unpeeling the continent, layer by invisible layer. Moving right along to Section 2, pyramids, bases, and myths. Look, when you have a massive, heavily restricted blank space on the map, human imagination is obviously going to run wild. So let's quickly dive into this list of viral claims. If you've spent absolutely any time online, you have seen these. The rumors range from alleged secret World War II underground military facilities like the infamous DACE 211 to massive submerged alien spacecraft spotted on satellite maps. There are sprawling theories about ice wall guardians supposedly keeping humanity fenced in, and even archaeological rumors of ancient elongated skulls discovered buried deep in the ice. It's basically a magnet for every major conspiracy theory out there, all drawn to this ultimate restricted zone. And these theories aren't just passing late-night tweets either. There are entire books dedicated to this stuff. Authors like Dr. Michael Salla have published massive volumes theorizing about covert corporate foundations, illegal research and development, and secret space programs hidden deep beneath the Antarctic ice, supposedly collaborating with extraterrestrial refugees. The lore is incredibly vast and heavily documented by the folks who believe it. But perhaps the most famous visual claim out there is the Antarctic Pyramid. Now, yes, there absolutely is a striking 4,150-foot geometric peak in the Ellsworth Mountains, and it has what looks like 4 perfectly symmetrical sides. It is awe-inspiring, no denying that, but here is the actual fascinating scientific reality. It's not human-made. Geologists call this a nunatak, which is basically a peak of rock poking through a glacier. Over millions of years, extreme winds and endless cycles of freeze-thaw weathering literally carved these stones into shockingly regular, sharp, triangular shapes. So nature is just one heck of an architect. Which brings us to Section 3, the real Antarctic anomalies. We've talked about the myths, sure, but honestly, the verifiable science is just as mind-blowing. Now, what's really interesting here is this massive outline. Notice this radar image of Lake Vostok, a subglacial lake. Scientists discovered an enormous magnetic anomaly in the southeast corner of this lake, measuring an astonishing 65 by 46 miles across. When they first spotted an anomaly of this magnitude, it sparked a huge heated debate among researchers. Let's define exactly what that actually means, just to keep ourselves grounded in the facts. A magnetic anomaly is essentially a significant local variation in the Earth's magnetic field. Now, while some internet theorists immediately jump to, it's a buried metallic city, geologists clarify that an anomaly of this extreme size actually indicates a colossal and highly unusual geological thinning of the Earth's crust right beneath the lake. It's a true geological marvel. And hey, if you want some truly mind-bending science, look no further than NASA's ANITA experiment. Anita is this giant balloon that floats high over the incredibly pure, quiet ice of Antarctica to listen for space particles. But here is the crazy part. It detected high-energy neutrinos shooting up from the ice instead of coming down from space. This totally defied our current understanding of physics. These particles were behaving in completely impossible ways, which is exactly what spawned all those viral NASA finds parallel universe where time runs backward headlines you might remember from a few years ago.
Okay, on to section 4, drilling into the ice. So, to figure out these crazy physical anomalies, we can't just rely on radar and balloons forever. We have to physically go down there. Just look at the sheer mechanical nightmare of a project like exploring subglacial Lake Ellsworth. Scientists had to custom build a hot water drill capable of cleanly piercing through 3.5 kilometers of solid, freezing ice. Guys, that is over 2 miles straight down. And once they break through, they have a window of just a few days to deploy sampling probes and pull up ancient sediment before the hole literally freezes completely shut on them again. But the payoff for all of this extreme drilling is unbelievable. Take Lake Enigma, for example. Researchers originally thought it was just frozen solid all the way through, but drilling down revealed a 40-foot deep layer of liquid water. And the real shocker? It was absolutely teeming with bizarre microbial life. They found these thin, spiky mats and weird little tree-like shapes up to 16 inches tall. These microbes were surviving by making their own food through photosynthesis in the dark underworld of the ice. Life down there just simply refuses to quit.
Which perfectly sets up Section 5, a ghost landscape revealed. This right here is the ultimate scientific payoff. Forget the isolated little lakes for a second. Let's zoom out and look at what the ice has actually been hiding on a massive, continental scale. Draw your attention to these incredibly detailed topographical maps showing the Maud Subglacial Basin and the Hercules Dome. These are real radar maps proving the existence of complex, mesoscale subglacial structures completely buried down there. We are talking massive, steep-sided U-shaped valleys and ancient river systems carving through a landscape roughly the size of Belgium, entirely hidden in the pitch black. So, the crucial point is how in the world this landscape got here. Let's quickly walk through the timeline. 90 million years ago, Antarctica was actually part of the Gondwana supercontinent. It was covered in lush, green rainforests, teeming with buzzing insects and flowing rivers. Hard to picture, right? Then, about 34 million years ago, dropping carbon dioxide levels and tectonic shifts triggered extreme global cooling, creating that protective ice blanket. Fast forward past the 1959 Antarctic Treaty, which heavily restricted human access, all the way to present day, where our radar mapping is finally revealing this pristine ghost landscape. And here is the wildest part. It turns out that thick, heavy ice didn't crush the history beneath it. It acted as a perfect protective blanket. It stopped wind and rain erosion in its tracks. Just recently, scientists have pulled up discoveries from the deep ice that are frankly breathtaking. We found perfectly preserved 34-million-year-old riverbeds. They've discovered tiny droplets of golden amber from ancient trees buried deep beneath the seafloor. They've recovered DNA traces of ancient moss and unknown small animals. Oh, and incredibly, beneath Mount Erebus, there are subvolcanic caves where the geothermal heat makes it so warm inside you could literally walk around in a t-shirt. Underneath the Antarctic ice. It really all leads back to this brilliant thought. Imagine the melting ice as a time machine, revealing a hidden treasure trove. This continent isn't just a lifeless block of frozen water. It is a literal time machine holding the history of Earth's climate, its biology, and its geology perfectly suspended in time. Which leaves us with one final, undeniable question to ponder today. As global temperatures continue to rise and those ice shelves melt faster than ever before, if this entire ghost landscape has been perfectly preserved in the dark for 34 million years, what else is the melting ice going to reveal? The ice is thinning, the vault is opening, and I can practically guarantee you the world is not fully ready for everything Antarctica still has left to show us. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep wondering, stay curious, and I will catch you on the next one.